Hello everybody, welcome back to Jared Opens a Box, and yes, this is the first Jared Opens a Box of 2024, and I have a pretty great episode for you guys here today, and yes, it is just me today. Summer was unable to join me, but honestly that's fine, because this isn't really anything she would be interested in anyways, but she will be back for next week's video, which you can kind of see right up there. You might be able to figure out what it is, but it's kind of far away, but you might be able to determine who it is back there. But yeah, I'm really excited for today's episode because we are kicking the new year off with a bang, because we have some new Youtooz figures from Bendy and the Dark Revival, which is honestly one of my favorite horror games from 2023 that I played on Jared Takes the L. It was really, really good, and I'm really glad that we got some more figures for it. Now, I did want to preface this video by saying that a lot of the characters in today's video are actually spoilers for that game. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers for Bendy and the Dark Revival, I wouldn't recommend that you check this video out quite yet, as I don't want to accidentally spoil you on anything, because there are a couple, big, actually the last figure that we're going to be looking at today is a pretty big spoiler because it's the final boss of the game. So we are going to be taking a look at, actually all three of these figures are different versions of Bendy himself, which we had one Bendy figure in the first Bendy and the Dark Revival Youtooz video that I did last summer. But let's go ahead and just get started, shall we? I figured we kick things off with this one right here, which is Hurt Bendy. This is, of course, at the beginning of the game, although it's not a part that I have personally reached in my playthrough. I can confirm that there will be another episode of Bendy and the Dark Revival coming this month, so be on the lookout for that. This is towards the very beginning of the game when we first meet the cartoonish Bendy in the real world, I guess. And we accidentally, Audrey, whatever it is, accidentally shocks him, and he looks hurt. So that's pretty much what this one's all about. There is a kind of a look at the figure and this new packaging Youtooz has been doing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box, because there probably is going to be some quotes and stuff all over it. I can open it. The heck? It's like stuck to the... Okay, there it goes. My bad. So there's Hurt Bendy. This is number 5 of the Bendy and the Dark Revival collection. I don't know if they're ever going to do figures for the original Bendy and the Ink Machine or not. I thought they had mentioned they were going to at some point, but who knows. And now there's a new Bendy game coming out, Bendy the Cage, and also a Bendy and the Ink Machine movie. It was officially announced on Christmas Day, so Bendy is back, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. There it is right there. The back of the box says, "I am your friend, I won't hurt you," right there. And that's, of course, the scene where we first meet him. And then on the side it says, "Bendy, you're real?" Which is probably a question that a lot of us had, And then this one says, "I promise." So, like I said, I haven't gotten to this part in the game, but, it took me a long time to actually play the game, so I did see bits and pieces of, of the game, and this was one of the scenes that I saw because of how crazy it was, I don't know too much about the final boss or anything like that. I just know who it is, partially because of this, but this is one of those things that I was aware of. But there is Hurt Bendy. He is, of course, holding his hand that was just shocked by Audrey. He also has little ink tears coming from his eyes, because it probably didn't feel too good. But overall, the figure itself is very similar to the other Bendy figure that we did in the first wave that came with Audrey and Wilson. So it's not too terribly different. He's even wearing the exact same outfit, even with the bow tie and everything. He also has that frown on his face. He looks really sad, and honestly, if he wasn't actually the main villain of this game, you'd probably feel bad for him. But, he's got some secrets. On the bottom has the little Youtooz sign, and then it has the copyright for Joey Drew Studios Incorporated. So overall, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's a really cool figure, great details. It's kind of like, having already done a Bendy that was similar to this, there isn't much to say about it. But I do think it's cool. It's a moment from the game that people will remember. So it's cool to see a figure kind of immortalizing that moment. But yeah, now let's take a look at who Bendy really is, because another spoiler for you guys here, it turns out that this Bendy is actually holding a very dark secret, and that is that he is, of course, the Ink Demon himself, which we've played, in our playthrough. I think the very last thing that happened in the second episode was Allison Angel telling us that the Ink Demon is coming for us, and that is, of course, this guy right here. So this is the true form of Bendy. He is he's actually a more, because he was in the original Bendy and the Ink Machine 2, this is a much different version of him. It does not look the same. He looks much different, as you can see right there. And let's just do this. Oh, look at that. It's magic. But there's Ink Demon, number 3 in the Bendy and the Dark Revival collection. There's the side of the box there. The back of the box says, "You're a mistake, a monster like me." This is actually the first game to actually give Bendy a voice. The Ink Demon does talk throughout the game. He has a very dark, deep voice that he uses to kind of haunt Audrey throughout the game. And of course, these quotes are probably coming straight from him. It also says on this side, "The future is sealed." And then I think that's it. Yeah, so it's open the front, and it says, "The dark puddles awaken." And I think that's one of the first things that he says when we first, and I'm very excited to get to that part. I hope it's coming up, because from what I saw of it, it's a very iconic moment, especially for those of us who played and watched the original Bendy and the Ink Machine. This introduction to him in this game is insane. It's totally different. So I think it's awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and open the Ink Demon. This figure is humongous, by the way. I mean, it is literally huge. It did not look this big inside the box, but there he is right here. Again, totally different from what we saw in the original Bendy and Ink Machine. Got a complete revamp. I don't think his horns were ever this big. He also has this humongous mouth with these sharp gaping teeth here. No eyes from what we can tell. I don't think there's really any eyes there, which means Youtooz also couldn't put their trademark winky eyes either, since there are none to really put on here. It looks like, I mean, it is really freaky. He also has, like, the legs. I think these are supposed to be his feet, although it almost looks like he has hooves, yeah, like horse hooves or something down here. Instead, he even has kind of like the, that's just what it looks like to me. He's standing on a puddle, which is what kind of like acting as his base. He also has a little bow tie kind of thing right there, and very odd looking hands. These are supposed to be Bendy's gloves, I think, but they have ink dripping from them. And also the little parts of his gloves are now spikes. Everything, it's just completely covered in ink. It's really freaky, but it's such a very cool and unique design. I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's so different from, after seeing Bendy and the Ink Machine, seeing Bendy and the Dark Revival, the differences that were made. And Bendy and the Dark Revival was considered a turning point for the Bendy franchise, because Bendy and the Ink Machine kind of ended on a sour note for some people. They didn't really like the ending, stuff like that. Whereas Bendy and the Dark Revival was seen as a completely new and original game that it brought the series back to life, pretty much. And that's why we've been getting so many new things for it, because everybody loved it. And I think that's why they keep making these awesome figures for the game. Now we have one final character, and again, spoilers if you haven't already been getting that. So I've been saying a lot of spoilers for the game in this video. Even spoilers for me, because like I said, I haven't even made it to the part where we first meet the Ink Demon, but eventually I will when I play through it on the channel. I'm gonna, like I said, planning on doing another video on that game this month. So keep an eye out. Probably will be within the next couple weeks. But we have our next character. This is I guess the final boss of the game, although from what I've been able to gather, I've actually been able to steer away from a lot of spoilers towards the end of the game, but from what I gather, he is kind of the final boss, but there's also this really cool section where you actually get to play as him, I think. But this is Beast Bendy, which I presume to be the final form of Bendy, after the Ink Demon and stuff like that. He's this gigantic version of Bendy. Um, let's go ahead and see what this one is looking like. Oh, maybe. So I actually got, my box is torn here. Not really sure how that happened. Must have came like that, because I don't believe I did anything. But there is Beast Bendy. He is number 4 in the Bendy in the Dark Revival collection. The back of the box says The Power of the Demon. And then on the other side, it says The Daughter of Drew. And again, spoilers, Audrey is Joey Drew's daughter. Joey Drew being the founder of the Bendy studio, stuff like that. She is his daughter. So that's another big plot twist that the game gives us. And Bendy is very aware of this. He knows that Audrey is Joey Drew's daughter, and that is why he wants her. Because, you know, obviously the connections to Joey Drew, stuff like that. Bendy has connections to Joey Drew for obvious reasons, because he's one of his creations. So it's really cool. That dynamic is it's such a good story, actually. The story for Dark Revival is really, really good. And then this one says, remember who you are. So it's great. It's great stuff. I think a movie actually would do justice. All right, folks, here we go. So somehow this figure is actually smaller than Ink Demon, even though I think it should be the other way around, because Beast Bendy is huge. But here he is right here. Any instance of Bendy that the Ink Demon had has been completely stripped away. This is a complete ink monster. The only thing that is there that is not ink are the giant sharp teeth. Everything else is complete ink. He even has an ink spine, like a sharp ink spine, which is crazy. But there he is, Beast Bendy. This is, again, the final boss of the game. I think it's really crazy. Again, he has the horns. Still no eyes, so how he would even see, who knows. Maybe the ink is his eyes. He can see all when you're in the studio. I will say this because Summer would have said it if she were here, but they did give him a butt. So there you go. I figured I would say that for her since she didn't join me today. And then of course his knee is actually in a puddle of ink because his foot's right here. So that's how he's able to stand. He's kind of like kneeling. Almost like he's getting ready to pounce, actually, is the best way to kind of describe it. Or he's playing football, because, you know, that also kind of looks like what he's doing, too. But overall, this is a really nice figure. I think it looks great. I think all of these look great. I think they're all actually going to get 9 out of 10s, because there are a lot of details on these guys. They all look really cool, very accurate to their game appearances. And yeah, I think they look amazing. This is the last wave of Bendy merchandise that we have at the moment. If there are any more, if Youtooz does make any more, or even if Funko hops back on the Bendy hype train, because they had 3 waves of Bendy Funko Pops back in the day when the game was at its height of popularity. So if they do get back on the train and make some more Bendy Funko Pops, you better believe it's going to be on here. Same with Youtooz. So, but that's going to do it for Bendy for now. If you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below which of these figures were your favorites, if it was Hurt Bendy, Ink Demon, or Beast Bendy. Let me know what your ratings are too. And that was our first video of 2024, but we have a lot of really cool stuff coming your way. Still some stuff, you know, yet to be announced. That would also be really cool if it ends up coming to fruition. So yeah, it's going to be a really stacked year. I'm really excited. Next week, we have another great video for you guys. Summer should be back with me. And yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.